What we're going to do now is we're going to create a fast logo and we're going to apply some distortion to it. So let's go ahead and grab our type tool and type the word shockwave. Alright, so whatever size type you have there, don't worry about it. Simply go to your selection tool and then grab the corner handles and let's go ahead and just resize it so it's pretty large on the page. Doesn't matter exactly what size you have there, guys. Just make sure you have it pretty large on your page like so. Let's also go to our character menu and we're going to change this to something kind of thick. So I'm going to go to Rockwell Extra Bold. If you don't have this font, don't worry about it. Just go through your fonts and look for something called Impact, or look for something called Gill Sans, or you can even go to Copper Black. There are quite a few thick ones there. And also Arial Black. And Black Oak is good too. So I'm going to choose Black Oak actually. And I'm going to just grab the corner again and resize this until I can see the whole thing. And I'm actually going to have to squash this guy a little bit by grabbing the side handle. There we go. So now we have our text. Now that we have it selected, let's go to the Effect menu. And we're going to go to where it says Distort and Transform. And we're going to choose the one called Pucker and Bloat first. Now what this is going to do is, as it says, it's going to pucker in the text or bloat it out. So we're going to click Preview. And the first thing we're going to do is go to the left to pucker. And as you can see, it doesn't take a lot to change the way the text looks. But as you can see here, we have this kind of shockwave, especially if we move it fast like this back and forth. So we have animation, folks. We have animation. The only problem is we have to do this all day long. So we can go all the way to the left and pucker it all the way out. Or we can go the opposite direction and bloat it. Now you notice that pucker is going to give you very sharp effects and bloat is going to give you more flowery effects. So we almost have like a butterfly kind of thing going here. And of course you can go way too far in either direction. So what I'm going to do is cancel this and we're going to head back to our Effect menu. We're going to go to Transform and Distort. And we're going to choose the Roughen this time. Once again, we're going to hit the Preview button. And we can change the size of this effect by using this slider. We can turn it off by going all the way to the left. I'll put it back on 3. We can also choose Relative or Absolute. Relative is going to be a little bit more random, and Absolute is going to be a little bit more even. And this is kind of nice to get a nice worn look into things. We can also increase or decrease the amount of detail we have in this. So we can really refine this and get a lot more of this effect, or we can take some of the detail out. We can also have corner or smooth when we want to affect the detail. So we can go to detail about 59, hit corner, and you'll see that we don't have much of a difference because we're so far in to the effect. We can go further out and you'll see more of a difference when you go to a less detail. So I'm going to go right about here, about 20, and hit OK. Now what I'm going to do is go back to Effect, and I'm going to go to Zigzag this time. Hit Preview, and you'll see what we have right there is kind of like a chia pet. It kind of exploded. So we can reduce the size of this effect. And now it's starting to look like the word shockwave, okay? Or more like a fur wave. It's got like a fur kind of thing going here. So we created some hair. Once again, we have Absolute and Relative. And we can go to Ridges this time. And we can increase or decrease that, as well as going to Smooth and Corner. Once again, as far as these guys here, they're hard to see when you have so much detail. I'll hit OK again. And last but not least, we'll go to Effect. And we're going to go to Twist. Go to Preview. And what we can do here is we can enter an angle. So I'll enter something like 90. Hit OK. And now we've taken this shockwave and twisted it. So as you can see, you can do some really, really cool things. And this effect was completely accidental, believe it or not. So I'm going to have to write this down because that's part of the fun of creating artwork. And I hope you guys saw that. A lot of the effects that we get as artists are literally accidental. I mean, just by doing this, I found a way to create some cool hair effects. So I'm going to have to go to my undo here and just kind of record what I did and write that down. So I highly advise you to do the same thing. You know, literally just take some stuff, some artwork or some text or some shapes here, and just randomly apply some of these different filters and see what you can come up with. And that's pretty much how, when you're online and you're reading tutorials on how people create all these effects, that's how they came upon them, by simply experimenting.